significant shifts in the global financial landscape, and the dominance of the US dollar is facing challenges. These are the challenges no one expected the king dollar to face. But here we are. The dollar is on the edge of falling off the cliff of its dominance. This all is happening because of China. We have talked about China's de-dollarization plans, but things have now gotten more serious. China has more nations willing to challenge the US dollar hegemony. And what can the US do about it? Nothing. Apart from trying to fake things to maintain its dominance, the US has no option left. As of September 15th, 2023, there's some interesting news about the way the US, the Federal Reserve, might handle interest rates in the future. People who watch the financial markets closely are starting to think that in June 2024, the Federal Reserve might decide to lower interest rates. At the same time, the chance of them raising interest rates at their meeting in September has dropped to less than 10%. This change in how they might deal with interest rates has caused some pretty big ripples in the financial world. One important result of this is that the interest rates in the US Treasury bonds, which are like loans that people and organizations give to the US government, have gone up. They've reached 4.082%, which is the highest it's been in almost 9 months. This means that if you're someone who invests in these bonds, you might get a bit more return on your investment, but it can also affect other things in the economy. For more people willing to buy the treasuries, they will have to pay more. This made the US treasuries look less attractive. Everyone knows that interest rates are increased by the US government to manipulate investors, so the smart investors are selling it. The sustained selling of the US treasuries has led to a notable development. The US Treasury auctioned $23 billion in 30-year notes, witnessing the lowest demand since July 2011. This trend signifies growing uncertainty in the US debt market. Historically, whenever the Federal Reserve hints at policies or signs of a potential US recession and debt crisis emerge, safe haven assets such as gold gain prominence as alternatives to the US dollar. This is a trend that is gaining momentum on the global stage. Why should people invest in dollars when the gold is already there? Before we continue further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos about China's development, power, and influence on the world. Let's continue now. The US dollar is backed by nothing. That means they can print as many dollars as they want. And who is at the loss? The investors. The US makes as many dollars as it likes, and by increasing the interest it assumes to get the investors. But no one trusts the dollar anymore. Analyst Zoltan Pozsar has pointed out that the world is currently undergoing a process of monetary separation from the dominance of the US dollar. The dollar is facing increasing pressure, and central banks around the world are exploring alternatives. The US's interest rate increasing tactics, which have long supported the US dollar's status as the global reserve currency, are showing signs of decline. Oil-producing nations led by Saudi Arabia are already taking steps towards de-dollarization in oil transactions. Countries such as Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and the UAE are exploring the possibility of gold-backed digital currencies for cross-border settlements. Some of these countries are also a part of BRICS, and in this group they have also made a BRICS country that is backed by the US dollar. The oil-exporting nations, often constrained by the dollar, innovate their foreign exchange strategies. They are considering issuing digital currencies as alternatives to the dollar. The oil-rich countries are the leaders of trade, and what currency they pick to trade matters a lot on a global scale. Iran, a key player in the global oil market, has announced plans to issue a digital gold coin named Payment, backed by physical gold. This initiative is aimed at facilitating cross-border transaction payments, potentially accepted by central banks worldwide. By October of this year, digital currency contracts are expected to see widespread adoption in various industries, including the oil sector. This signifies a significant shift away from traditional currency-based transactions. China, the world's largest gold producer and consumer, has been consistently increasing its gold reserves. This trend suggests a move towards using gold as a component of its de-dollarization strategy. China's growing presence in the global economy is being reflected in its increasing use of the yuan in oil transactions. The settlement currency for China's purchase of Iranian oil is often the yuan or the euro. While China has been a huge concern of the US dollar hegemony, there are other nations also joining that were never expected. Japan, traditionally a strong ally of the United States, is actively pursuing de-dollarization as well. It is in negotiations with Iran's major banks to use digital currencies for energy trade settlements and is exploring ways to circumvent the dollar. Even the US's closest allies don't trust the dollar any longer. And why should they? The world knows everything about the dollar. They know how unstable it is and what future it holds. So everyone is avoiding the dollar and moving toward other currencies. Russia is also making significant moves towards de-dollarization. It aims to link gold with oil and has launched the oil-gold settlement system. Russia's largest bank, Sber, has issued digital financial assets backed by gold as an alternative to the petrodollar. Central banks worldwide are increasing their gold reserves at the fastest pace since distancing themselves from the US dollar. The accumulation of gold in various countries can be seen as a strategic move to reduce reliance on the dollar. The global financial landscape is undergoing a profound transformation, with gold-backed digital currencies emerging as potential alternatives to the US dollar. As central banks diversify their reserves and explore new settlement methods, the dollar's dominance seems very close to its end. Whether these trends will lead to a new international monetary system anchored in gold or digital gold currencies is still a question. However, one thing is clear: the era of the dollar's unchallenged supremacy is changing, and nations are actively seeking alternatives for the goal of financial stability. But let's not forget that China took a significant step by leading the way in de-dollarization efforts. This not only benefited China, but also had a positive impact on other nations across the globe. It's fair to say that these nations owe gratitude to China for its proactive role in this process. China's initiation of de-dollarization was a strategic move that had far-reaching consequences. By reducing its reliance on the US dollar in international transactions and trade, China demonstrated its commitment to promoting a more balanced and multipolar global financial system. The importance of this initiative extends beyond China's borders. Other nations, especially those that have faced challenges related to the dominance of the US dollar, found inspiration and practical solutions in China's actions. These countries too began exploring alternatives to the dollar, such as gold-backed digital currencies, and sought to diversify their foreign exchange reserves. So China's dedication to de-dollarization paved the way for other nations to pursue a more independent and resilient financial future. This shift away from the US dollar as the dominant global currency has not only enhanced economic stability, but also reduced vulnerability to external economic pressures. As a result, the global financial landscape is gradually becoming more balanced, with multiple currencies gaining importance in international trade and finance. Nations that once felt constrained by the dollar's dominance are now finding greater flexibility and security in a world where they can rely on a variety of currencies, thanks in part to China's pioneering efforts. We would like to take a moment here and appreciate you all for commenting and sharing your opinions. Your insights always impress us. Do you think the US dollar can make a comeback? What will happen if yuan becomes the new dominant currency? How do you think the US will react? Let us know in the comments section. Is there anything the US can do about its losing dollar dominance? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video, and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence over the world.